Hi everyone, it's Danny. Alrighty, so today we will discuss about Tolumnia orchids, and this is because one of my viewers has asked me to make a video with a few care tips for Tolumnia orchids. Now I only have one Tolumnia that I ordered last autumn from Schwerter. It is a Tolumnia Corona, but I swear I do intend to buy more because they're just cheap and they're lovely. So I did notice a few things during these 6 months, but I'm not yet an expert. So what I can tell you is that my Tolumnia seems to be a pretty young one. They're not big orchids, they will not grow super tall, but they can become quite bushy. So as you can see, this is my Tolumnia, this is how big it is. I think it's as big as my palm. It's not very bushy, that's why I think it's still a young plant. It hasn't bloomed before, doesn't seem to have any bloom spikes, so I'm waiting on a bloom. Now the way I care for it is pretty much like a Vanda orchid, I have to tell you. Nothing like Oncidium orchids, although the flowers do look like Oncidiums. And I'll try to show you a picture of this particular cross that I have here on a corner of the screen. So as you see, I am keeping it in a sort of a basket with a bit of moss to retain more moisture. You will see Tolumnias being potted in very tiny clay pots or mounted, and this is because they do not like to stay soggy and moist all the time, unlike Oncidium orchids. At first I did try to keep this orchid without any media in this basket, and I watered it once a day, just like my Vindaceous orchids. But it didn't seem to do that well. The first sign of dehydration you will notice with a Tolumnia is the shriveling of the leaves. As you can see, the leaves are quite plump. They're pretty much like a succulent plant, wouldn't you say? So when you see that the leaves begin to show wrinkles, that is a sign of dehydration. It just means you need to provide more moisture for the orchid. So I decided to place some sphagnum moss in this pot here, and it seems to do the trick. I actually water this orchid every 2 days. Within 2 days, the sphagnum moss does become dry, but I don't let it be dry for too many days afterwards. So practically it is a well-ventilated growing media, let's say, well-ventilated pot, but it retains some moisture at least for a full day, and it seems to like it. Now as you can see, I keep this orchid hanged. And this is because I want to provide a lot of ventilation as well as light. So I do keep it along with my Vanda orchids. It does receive pretty much direct sunshine, but it does go through a sheer curtain. So it's not full direct sun, it's slightly filtered. And a sign that your Tolumnia is receiving enough light is the reddening of the leaves somewhat. You see these tips, they have a sort of a pinkish, reddish hue to them. This is a sign that you are providing enough light for your Tolumnia orchids. Without strong light, it is said that these orchids will not bloom, it will not perform that well. So indeed I am providing pretty much Vanda light conditions for this orchid. So far I don't see any burning of the sorts, I just see a little bit of reddening, which apparently is a good sign. Now during the time that I've had this orchid, it produced a little baby plant here and another one right here, which do grow vigorously. Also, it has produced a few roots, and I'm gonna try to show you a new root. Here it is. It produces pretty tiny roots, pretty thin roots. They are not flexible at all, so when you try to repot it or handle it, be very careful because they do snap pretty fast. But other than that, it seems to be a healthy plant, and hopefully it will bloom pretty soon. Now I fertilize it about once a week because I'm watering it so often, and I'm trying to use half the strength recommended on the label. So far so good. As I said, it seems to do good. The fact that I have baby plantlets is a good sign, so hopefully I will have a flower spike soon. Now the flower spikes usually emerge from between the leaves, and they can be quite tall. A flower spike will be usually bigger than your mother plant, and the flowers can form quite a cluster. So it is a very showy orchid for its size. It is actually a miniature orchid, so it will never become as big as an Oncidium orchid, but it can become quite bushy and nice. So the way to grow this orchid is in bright light conditions, intermediate temperatures, and also provide humidity but ventilation. Without constant ventilation, the roots will not be happy quite at all. But without moisture, the orchid will dehydrate, so you need to find that balance. If the roots stay moist for one day, then I think everything is okay if you water it every other day or something like that. So these are a few tips on the Tolumnia, at least to keep them alive. I'll make a more extensive video when this little girl will bloom, and of course when I have more Tolumnias and more experience with them. But so far I think these are some good tips to put you in the right direction with Tolumnias. Alrighty, thank you for suggesting this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have more suggestions or questions for me, just leave me a comment. Don't forget to subscribe if you like my videos and want to see more. And if you just want to stay in touch with me and see some orchid pictures, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and you have the links below. I'll see you next time. Bye!